Welcome back to Julie's Wreath Boutique. This week we're going to make a beautiful flower wreath, and it's really kind of double duty. You could use this for Christmas or for just a winter wreath for all winter. But listen, if you get on my email list, the link will be in the description box below. You're going to find out how you can win this wreath. Yep, I'm giving this wreath away. So make sure you get on my email list and let's make this beautiful wreath. Welcome back to Julie's Wreath Boutique. We are going to use a new kind of mesh. I know this has been out on the market for a while, but I don't think that I've used it yet. And I really wanted, when I saw this on Mel's Crafty Mojo, I just loved the colors, the navy blue and the emerald green. And guys, I think this is a great Christmas color, but I also think that this could take you beyond Christmas. So this would be great for November and December and January and February too. So this wreath is going to be more of a winter flower, but I think it's going to be beautiful. And we're going to, of course, add a little bit of bling to it at the end. But I just wanted to see, as you can see, this has been unwrapped. I wish I had the wrapper, so I don't think I'm going to use this part. But let's get this to cutting. We're going to cut these at 10 inches each. We're going to cut, probably about 15 of these, and then we're going to cut probably close to the whole roll on this one. All right, so you know, if you've watched any time or length of time with me, I use a wood burner. This is what I use. I have them in my Amazon storefront, and you can click on the link in the description box below. Go over to Amazon, look for the thing that says crafting must-haves or something to that effect, and you'll find my glass cutting board. You'll find my rotary mat here, everything I use. And I'm going to add this nifty little thing that I just got. Literally, if I had stuff on my table right now, it just would vacuum it up. And it, guys, this works. So cool. I can't wait to share this with you guys. I love this product. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut these at 10 inches each. That's pretty much a typical thing for me, is the 10 inch, because it gives you that perfect square. And I really like the fact that this really does cut really nice. Now, remember, if you're using a wood burner, you really should be wearing a mask when you're doing it, because it does let off some fumes. And I want you to be safe and careful, okay? But I'm just gonna cut in between the strands, and it's really easy to do. I don't have my glasses on. I got that one a little crooked because I don't have my glasses on. But that's okay. So I'm gonna cut probably close to the whole roll on this, and about 15 of the poly burlap, the blue here, because we're going to use this as a base color, because I want to make sure that we have enough, because we're going to do a smaller center than normal than we use. So I'm going to take that off because that wasn't as good. But just cut your mesh, and then I want you, if you have already know how to do this, but you're going to take your plastic canvas. I'm just going to show you in this shot right now. Plastic canvas, you're going to take your 10-inch wreath form. If I knew where that was right now, I would show you. I'm not sure where it went. We're going to cut a circle in the middle, and we're going to put it on the form, and when I come back, I'll show you that'll already be done. You've seen me do it a lot of times. It's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so we have our blue poly burlap here. I'm getting everything where I need it. As you can see, this is pretty self-explanatory. I took a 10-inch wreath frame, and I took plastic canvas. You can get this, Mel might have some at Mel's Crafty Mojo, but you can get this like at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's in the yarn and embroidery section. And then I just cut a piece out and I connected it to my frame. Easy peasy, so simple to do. So basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a zip tie, and we're gonna put the first one right here on the cross bracket on bar 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is bar 2, all right? So we're gonna do a 2-petal method. I've done this before, and I'm gonna show you how to do it again. So you want finished sides bottom, finished sides top, come in the middle, and you're just gonna make our basic petal, okay? That's it, all right? So we're gonna take this one, and I just typically will hold it in this hand, and then I'm gonna take my piece here, finished side on the left and finished side on the right, and we're going to make a triangle, and then we're going to do the daisy petal, okay? And sometimes I like to tuck it in there, sometimes I don't. It doesn't really matter, all right? So we just want that daisy petal. I'm going to take the daisy petal and I'm going to put it over top of my single petal, all right? And basically what this does, we're going to kind of put it out here. gives us a 3-tipped petal. All right, this is going to be the base. So I'm going to put one right here. We put our zip tie right there. And we're just going to put it right here. Now, this is where you could really interchange your colors if you didn't want to do navy blue and green. If you wanted to do red and white, whatever you wanted to do, you could get really creative here. So that's what I want to really encourage you to do. So you're going to do the same technique on each of the brackets, okay? So I'm going to do that again. I'll do all 5 here, 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 and here, and then I'll come back and show you the next step. All right, so we have the first anchor of our petals on. We have them on all the brackets. So now we're going to go in between each of them, and you're just going to put a single layer petal. What is a single layer petal, if you're curious? Bottom, top, finish, meet in the middle, gather it, flip it over, and then lay the left side over the right side. We just did it before, and it's the same technique, but we're not going to add the daisy petal to this one. We're just going to add the one petal because we don't really need all of that. So go through here, do the same thing I just did in between all of our anchor petals here, and then we'll be on the next step. It's that simple. You don't have to be afraid to make flower wreaths. They are so easy to do, and they just, oh my goodness, they are just something different on your front door when you can put a flower wreath on it. So I love the way they look. Okay, so we have our base done. So we have single petals in between our anchor petals. That is a single petal and a daisy petal together. Now we're going to work on bar 3, and basically we're going to stay in between each of these petals. So basically I need 10 petals of the next step. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to take my zip tie, and we're just going to do a basic daisy petal with this kind of wide foil mesh. It's very different, and it kind of has a nice, it's a little different than regular deco mesh. It's more structured like a poly burlap, but you can see through it, unlike the poly burlap. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna have finished sides on both sides here. We're going to make our triangle, and we're simply gonna do another daisy petal. And the reason why we're gonna do the daisy petal is simply because, number one, it kind of creates more of a plaid look when we do that, but also it also has such structure that I really like how that looks. Let me see, I've got one little piece hanging here, so let's just kind of burn that away because I left that on. And then we're gonna just simply put them in between each petal that was on row 2 or bar 2, okay? It's pretty much that simple. I love how this has such, you know, volume to it, but at the same time, it has such rich color. So just keep doing the same technique on the second row, but bar 3 of our whatchamacallit, our wreath form. So I'm going to make my triangle. I don't think I did very good on cutting this one at 10 inches. Sometimes I go over a little bit, but that's okay. But if you can just see the structure that petal has, it's just a little bit different than your typical deco mesh, which is what I'm really enjoying here. So, all right, you're gonna wanna stay around. The center of this wreath is so simple to do. All right, so this is what our almost finished flower looks like. We still have another layer of petals to add, and I'm gonna show you how to do that in a moment. But we're gonna let the center of our flower set up. And no, we are not going to put this sunflower with the petals on the wreath. We're not going to do that. But what we're going to do is use the middle of the sunflower. I got this at Michael's, and eventually here I'm going to show you how to make your own. Oh, well, this is interesting. I thought this would be a little different. You're going to just pop this off. Okay, I don't want to lose my gems that they have on here, but this is not a foam piece. I thought this would be a foam piece. So you're gonna pop it off. So actually, let me see if this one, pull that off, and there you go. And then you have your center. All right, it's really pretty. It's all gold. Very Christmassy. I'm gonna throw this away. You can save this and do something different with it. I'm probably not going to do that, but you could repurpose this in some sort of way. Now, what you can do is I'm kind of looking at this and I wonder if, nope, that's gonna be too big, so I'm gonna ignore that. So let me take off, we're gonna take this, and since usually I would have pens going through this because usually these are foam. This isn't foam. So we're going to work with this with what we have. So I'm going to take a piece of wire and I'm going to put it in half here. I'm going to take a piece of scrap felt. Yes, it's brown, but you know what? That's all I have in this room right now, and it's going to work. I'm going to take my hot glue gun. Again, this is on my Amazon. This is probably the only glue gun I'll ever use. I'll be honest with you, it's the best one out there. And I do have a link for SureBonder, and I can give you that too. All right, so we're gonna put it right in there. I don't know if you can hear my children. They are having a good time. So we're gonna put that in there. And that is the Gorilla Glue Sticks. So I'm just gonna put that in there. The glue is probably gonna go all over, but it's gonna set up so that we can put this in the middle of our wreath, okay? And now we have the middle of our wreath. So I'm gonna let this set up and I'm gonna finish the rest of this flower in the meantime. Okay, so we're back and we're gonna put one more layer on, okay? So I'm gonna take my zip tie here and we want a very small center, all right? So I'm pretty much gonna just see if this will be too much. So let me see here. So I'm just gonna put my thing on top. I think that that will work. So what we're gonna do is we're not only gonna take a piece of the deco mesh that we're using, the wide foil deco mesh, we're gonna take a piece of the poly burlap. So let me show you what I want you to do. I want you to take your piece of poly and your piece of deco. So first, actually, you're gonna put your piece of deco, the green and the blue one. I'm gonna take my poly and I'm gonna lay it over top and I'm gonna do the best I can to measure this together. Now, you could fuse this together, and you guys, if you've never seen me fuse mesh together, I will leave the playlist down in the description box. And if I had thought about this a little bit more, that's what I would have done, but again, I didn't do that. So I would definitely fuse the center pieces together, all right? So we're gonna just do this. We're gonna take it and we're gonna make a triangle. So it's two pieces of mesh together and we're going to make our daisy wreath, or daisy petal, sorry. All right, so what does this do? This gives us a very dense piece of mesh, okay? So when I did it with just this mesh over here, you could still see the white zip ties. Well, we don't want that. So what we want is to be able to have it covered in such a way that we meet kind of in the center. So these are all going to be very tight together, and we need them to be tight so that the center, because again, we're using a very small center. That center is probably, let's see, about 3¼ inches in diameter. So it is not very big at all. So we're gonna do another one and we're gonna put it pretty close here. We're gonna keep everything pretty centered, and we've gotta keep that center of our wreath less than 3 inches in diameter, okay? Again, take your poly burlap and your wide deco mesh and you're gonna layer them. Just do the best you can if you haven't fused them together, but I would definitely try fusing these together. That's what I would recommend. And the poly burlap is just a tad shorter. I don't know why that is, but it is. But that's okay, we're gonna make it work, you know? We're just gonna make it work. And I'm gonna just keep going. I love this mesh, it's so pretty. I love the plaid, oops. Julie, I'm leaving that in the video. I love do you ever see the plaid navy blue and emerald green plaid ribbon? That's always one of my favorites too. I just think it's so pretty. I'm gonna turn this around. And okay. And I layered the one that's finished over the one that's not as finished. But that's my trick for every time I do this, all right? All right, so you're just gonna keep going. I think we will probably do about 6 petals, maybe 7, I'm not really sure, but I'm just gonna keep doing the same process here, and then we'll come back and we'll put the middle on this, and it will be amazing. All right, so I'm putting the last, I'm sorry I make my table shake, guys. Unfortunately, this is not the studio, but we are getting that put together hopefully very soon, and we'll be down there and our setup will be different. So if the table shakes or the camera shakes, I apologize. This is not my normal setup, but I want to show you the last petal because I did my very best to keep the center as tight as can be. Because remember, we only have a 3 1/4 inch diameter center, so it's really small, but you can get bigger ones. I will show you what I mean in a moment. So I'm just gonna make this daisy petal like we've been doing, all right? And basically I'm gonna use all my hand strength here to make sure we get this last piece in. And as you can see, the poly burlap is sticking out a little bit. That's okay, it's just gonna enhance the color. So I'm just gonna pull really good on this, all right? So that it kind of pulls it down a little bit, all right? So there we go. So we're just gonna work on all, and you could even do that too. Huh, whenever I like that. You could just turn it and go the opposite direction, but I'm gonna put it back. That's what I like about this petal and this mesh. It's very moldable. And I hope that Mel has some more of it. So I will link it down below. If you use the code Julie's Wreath Boutique, all in caps, and any orders over $35 or more, you will get an extra 10% off. So just a little bit of a help, and everybody can use that these days, right? So even though this one is sticking up somewhere, I'm just gonna kind of like press it down a little bit, all right? I wish somebody would make like colored, all sorts of colored zip ties. That's what I'm going to say. All right, so this is all set up, all right? And I'm just going to find a spot for this to go in. And this is going to be a little challenging, so just be patient. And you're just going to work it through and go through that mesh in the bottom there. I think we're getting there. And this is probably a 20 gauge wire that I'm using here. So come on, well, let's do this. Go on that side. And then let's go on this side. Let's see if this works. All right, so I think it's gonna be just enough. There's a little bit of a gap there, but I think we can finagle these petals ever so slightly. Would you look how pretty that looks against this mesh? Beautiful. So I'm gonna just take it and we're gonna pull it as much as I can here. Now, I don't have any felt, or I would put felt around this. You've seen me do that in many videos. I have even a video that's just how to cover the back of your wreath with felt, and I will link that one down below. I did it several years ago. It's really easy to do, and that's what I would recommend here. But again, everything's downstairs. In boxes. We moved this summer and we're getting it together. Listen, it's closer than it's ever been. So I'm pretty excited about that. So now I'm going to work on like these petals. And what I like about all these petals, there's not a lot of like shifting anything around. I don't have to like fluff anything up. And listen, this is gorgeous. Let me get my stuff out of the way. But wow, isn't that beautiful? Now this is going to measure about 22 inches in diameter. I really feel like this is such a good size. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I've been wanting to use this mesh for a while. I bought it from Mel's Crafty Mojo and finally got a chance to use it. So listen, if you made it this far into our video, I always ask you guys to leave an emoji. It really does help me know, number one, that you guys have watched the video. So leave me either a blue heart or a green heart or a gold heart, okay? So leave me a heart if you loved this video. Let me know if you're gonna give this a try. I think it's beautiful, and I just think I can't wait to hang it up. So join me next Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at Julie's Wreath Boutique. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.